Welcome to Fairy Tale Access, where the head fairy's quest is to prove that fairy tales do exist in actual time rather than once upon a time. Together, we will unravel the heroes, young and old, who turn dreams into reality. These are the people who still believe in happily ever after. The discoveries will bend even our most cynical non-believers into believing in fairy tales. Hi, welcome to Fairy Tale Access. Today, my guests are the girls from the Greater Nashua First Robotics Club. I have Devaney and Asha. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So tell me about being in STEM programs and dealing with robotics. What is that like?
It's awesome. I don't even know where to begin. I've been on the team. This is my 6th year now, and I just love it. I was on mech for 5 years, and now I'm doing systems, which is more of like an organizational engineering, where I kind of go to each sub-team and make sure they're doing what they want, what they're supposed to be doing.
Robotics has really helped me to come out of my shell. When I joined the team, I didn't really want to talk to anybody. I chose a project as I'm working in the closet. I organized the closet for a few months, and ultimately my teammates really inspired me to push myself and try something new, and now I'm a member of the leadership. I am the lead of a few different things, and it's really been a great experience for me.
You hear that a lot, like kids come in and they're like in their little shell and they don't want to do anything, and then they just grow so much through this program. It's really wonderful.
Really?
Yeah.
So what type of courses were you guys taking in school when you first started in the robotics that got you interested in it?
Well, my mom kind of dropped me off just out of the blue and just left me there one time, and I just kind of kept going. I was homeschooled when I first started, so I didn't really have courses that got me interested. It just kind of came up out of nowhere.
I was taking a lot of chemistry and different kinds of sciences, but I was actually interested in robotics because Devaney came to field day for my school and convinced me to join the robotics team, and so I came to an open house and fell in love with the machine shop and ended up doing something completely outside of the machine shop. But that's actually how I joined the team.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what goes into it? What's the process?
Well, first, there's the kickoff. Everyone gets the challenge and sees what the game is going to be like at the same time. And then from there, you have 6 weeks to design and build your robot and test it and make sure that it can play the game. So first, we like to do brainstorming with the whole team and try to get something that really works for everyone, that everyone has a say in what we're going to build. And then we start planning out how we're going to build it.
And we have 6 weeks to build the competition robot from start to finish. We bag and tag it after 6 weeks. We have very limited time to work on it after that, and then competition season starts. We do think it's important to train our new students, and so we actually start meeting late August, early September, and the intent of that is to train kids because we think that anybody should be able to code if they want to code. Anybody should be able to machine if they want to machine. And so we have a 6-week, or I think it's a 5-week training period, and then we have a 10-week project period where students really have a chance to hone their skills before the actual build season, which is those 6 weeks.
It really helps out to not just be dropped into like this really intense environment, because in build season we end up meeting almost every single day of the week and on the weekends, and kids are just like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what's going on. You know?
Wow. So tell us about the game itself. What are you building a robot to do?
We haven't gotten the challenge yet for this year, but
in the past,
last year it was called First Stronghold, and it was sort of like a castle theme. There were some obstacles that you had to get through, and they would change every time they would change the field. And then you had to like get through the obstacles with your robot and shoot boulders at a castle, try to like defeat it, you know. So that was really fun.
It was like basketball capture the flag.
Yeah. Yeah, so we had some like multi-purpose arms that could sort of lift up. There was like a portcullis. It could push down. There were some little teeter-totters you had to get over. We had treads on the bottom so we could drive over some rough terrain. Yeah. So it's really fun. And last year we got some autonomous working, which is sort of super A+ for us because we don't do that very often. So.
Wow. So it sounds really challenging. Do you have freshmen? Because you're a senior.
Yeah.
Are you graduated already?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior too?
Yeah.
Wow. So is it all seniors or is it?
No, it's everybody. Actually, we take kids in when they're 13 if they want to join.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm 18, so that's why I've been here for so long. But we do take kids that are 13. Usually they're homeschooled or they're from ASD, because like that's a really, either you're homeschooled and you have a lot of time to commit, or you're at ASD and you really want to do robotics. So.
Wow. And does everybody have a part to play when you're actually at the event?
At the event, a lot of people are spectators. It's kind of like going to a football game for 3 days straight.
Yeah.
That's what events are like. There are some event roles that you can have. One of them is, what's really big is the drive team. Our drive team drives the robot and operates the robot. We also have scouting, where you go and talk to the different teams in a separate area, and you pick your alliances based on that. So it's a big sort of data game that you play every event.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's kind of like playing a video game?
Sort of. It's, yeah, you
Except
have like
it's
a
live
drive
and
team. Yeah, and
Except
There's
they drive the robot.
3 teams on each side that are kind of on their own like super team, and they compete against each other. So your team will switch, like change every time you're with 2 different robots.
Are most of the people shy coming in?
I think it depends on the personality, but I think it's a big thing to come into, especially if you're 13 coming in, and it's like, oh my gosh, you're gonna build a robot. I know, I was, at the beginning, I was like, this is like magic. Like, we can't build a robot, like that's crazy. And then it just sort of came together at the end. Honestly, your freshman year, you don't do very much, so I was just like amazed that this happened.
Wow. What's been the biggest experience that's changed how you look at your future?
I don't know, honestly. I think this whole thing has kind of changed the way that I look at stuff. I've done presentations. I mean, doing stuff like this never would have come up if I wasn't in robotics, you know? I don't know about you.
I think my first successful grant application, I am on the robotics team, but what I actually do is corporate outreach. I'm responsible for helping to bring in funding for our team. And so the first successful grant that I had was a really big deal for me because it's about a 95% failure rate. I keep my rejection letters. And so the first time that I was actually able to get some funding for the team was very exciting for me.
Absolutely. Congratulations. So where is it going to take you, ladies? Where are you off to next?
Do you have an answer for that question?
Yeah, I'm interested in chemical engineering, and so this has definitely helped me to learn more about the engineering process, about working in a team. And so I'm looking at a lot of different engineering programs to see what I can do to sort of continue that type of hands-on work.
Actually, through this, I've been mentoring the first LEGO League teams, and I think I'm going to actually intern at the Boys and Girls Club now and kind of see like where that takes me if I want to do some teaching. My school has like a capstone project where we have to intern, so this summer I actually got another internship through robotics with analog devices, so like everything in my life kind of circles around robotics, and it gives me so many opportunities.
That's
Crazy.
great. What does analog devices do?
So they specialize in sensors, so any type of inertial sensor. They make gyroscopes, accelerometers, stuff that goes kind of in GPSs and in your car and in your phone, and basically everywhere, anywhere there's a sensor.
Wow.
So yeah, it was really neat. I'm not a programmer, so it was kind of confusing, but I did most of the mechanical stuff, so that worked out fine.
Wow, that's great. So there's a lot that goes into this.
Yeah.
It's a full year program, and you'll actually find that even if you try to do things outside of robotics, eventually your friends will be on the robotics team,
Yeah.
and you'll just find yourself spending more and more time at robotics, but it's not like it's a bad thing. It's actually very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. I mean,
Yeah.
you really get to network with other people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
Plan
almost like we're like a
strategy.
big family or like a tiny little business that's like trying to do this challenge every year, and you just get really close with people. We have lunch with each other on the weekends, and like you just end up having so many good friends from it.
That's good. What about your sponsors? How involved are they?
They have a lot of varying degrees of involvement. So we have some smaller contributors, some families that donate. We definitely believe in ensuring that anybody can join a robotics team regardless of socioeconomic status, and so we rely predominantly on corporate sponsors for funding. And so it's definitely a project for us to reach out to those sponsors every year. We did lose a good number of sponsors a couple of years ago, partially due to their financial circumstances and partially due to our failure to follow up with them. And so now we're working very hard to make sure that we build like a student relationship with each one of our sponsors. We go there, we do a robot demo, we do a presentation, we create a thank you card, everybody signs it, we send it to them with a tax return. We're really working hard to do that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
You guys are amazing. And are you planning on college?
Yeah. Trying to get that sorted out right now. I don't know. I'm looking at maybe engineering, maybe something on the liberal arts side. I don't know. Still kind of exploring.
Oh, that's good. There's still time. What about you?
Definitely. I'm probably going to be in college for a long time.
Yeah.
At least 6 years.
I know. I want to learn forever. Can I just
Yeah.
go to school forever?
It's going to be a lot of school for me, but after that, I'm excited to go out into the workplace, get an internship, and then get a job. It's going to be awesome.
So, with girls in STEM, you hear a lot that boys are, the dominant ones in that field. So is it the same on robotics, or are you finding more girls getting involved?
It's kind of funny, isn't it? Because girls aren't a majority of our team. It's actually like a really small percentage.
30%.
Yeah.
30%.
But a lot of our leads are girls.
Yes.
So it's kind of funny how that works out because the girls kind of step up into the leadership roles.
People in positions of power on our team tend to be female. Our team
Yeah.
lead is female.
Our team lead is female, and she's very strong and yeah.
The young women on our team assert their dominance, but there aren't a lot of them. So.
Yeah.
Wow. So how does everybody get along pretty much?
For the most part, and when we have issues, our team lead comes and has a meeting with the person who's a problem, and we sort it out. We do have adult mentors who provide guidance to us, but typically problems can be solved on a student basis.
Yeah.
What happens to the robot after you're done?
Sometimes it gets cannibalized for other robots, which makes me really sad. I remember my first robot was named ℋead Rex, and I loved him, and he was great, and he's completely gone now and just been torn apart and used for other robots. Some of them we keep. We kept, what was the one last year's name?
We kept Shelob.
Yeah, so we name our robots every year, so that's fun. Last year was the first year we had a female robot, so that's great.
How do you guys come up with the names?
We vote. It's a long process.
Yeah. We're very democratic, which takes a while, but it works for everybody, so we keep it. But yeah, we kept, last year's robot was named Shelob, and we keep her for demonstrations and outreach and stuff like that.
So you have mechanical, you have code reading. What else goes into, what other areas of science go
So there's
into
electrical.
Electrical.
Yeah, the electrical sub-team. It's kind of small. They just put wires together, but that's one of them.
And not get electrocuted.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a big one.
There's business systems is a lot bigger than it used to be. A couple of years ago, it was like one person running around trying to get everyone to do what they're supposed to be doing, and now we have about 5, I think. So that's great.
How come you had to rebuild your team? Was it this past year, in the past 2 years?
No, it was
About
4 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago it happened.
Yeah.
A lot of our students graduated, and basically what we had is we had a senior bubble, and so after the seniors graduated, we had, well, actually I wasn't on the team.
We had like 7 students, like 7 core students that were really committed, myself being one of them, and we sort of went, oh no, like we have no students, and we sort of kicked into like recruiting overdrive, and we were recruiting all the time, and we kind of rebuilt our team more than we needed to. We ended up, now we have like 60 students, and it's crazy.
We doubled in size 2 or 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now we're kind of taking it down a notch. But it's great to have so many kids on the team. We definitely get a lot more done that way.
Absolutely. That's great. And only 30% are girls.
Yeah.
Yes, we're working on that.
We're-
That's
we're
one of our
working
big
on
things.
it, yeah.
So what else should people know about joining this type of team? Why is it good for boys and girls?
Well, I think that it definitely, we work, even though we are a 30-70 gender ratio, we really work to have a team where people don't look at you as a girl or as a guy, they look at you as the lead of business or the lead of electrical, and really having people realize that regardless of a person's gender, they deserve respect and they deserve to be worked with just like somebody of the other gender would be. We hope that ultimately, maybe 50 to 100 years from now, the workplace will be like that, where there's no pay gap, there's no respect gap. I think that's probably a bigger gap than the pay gap right now. And so we try to function like we think the world should.
Yeah.
And that's our hope, that both boys and girls will realize that they should act as though they'd like to be respected, and they should respect the people around them.
Yeah, and I think my pitch to kids, anyone who's thinking about joining, is like, this is kind of where the world is moving. Like when you grow up and you want to get a job, you're going to need to work together with other people. And in my opinion, nothing teaches that better than this program, where you're kind of stuck together for 6 weeks trying to build a robot, and it gets really hectic, and you really have to trust your teammates and work together.
That's true, especially if you're homeschooled too.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think a lot of people in STEM study a lot and they do it independently. So do you find that to be true?
Yeah.
Yes.
We had a couple kids come in who were like kind of antisocial, but like really, really smart, and they're just like, no, I'm right, you're wrong, like, let's move on. And we're like, well, hold on a second, it doesn't work that way, we kind of need to talk it out, and it's been really great for me, at least, to see them kind of blossom and grow. So
Absolutely. Sounds like a great program. And is it nationwide now?
It's actually international. The first World Championship takes place in St. Louis every year. Our team went a couple of years ago, which was very exciting for us.
awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so it's definitely grown a lot in the past, I think it's like 20 years or so. From just a small handful of teams in a gym to a worldwide, massive event.
So you're racing towards that goal this year?
Yes, we would really like to, but one of the things that we definitely emphasize is learning over winning. A lot of teams will win at all costs. We refuse to do that. We are a student-led and student-run team, and we will have every coding student write meaningful code for the robot, rather than having our code lead write everything and go to Worlds. That is one of our philosophies. We will not have our mentors write the code, our students write the code, all students write the code. And that applies for all of our sub-teams. And so last year we did not do as well because we really believed in training everybody.
Yeah.
So this year...
Last year, half our team was new students,
Yeah.
and they were all working on it, so...
Wow.
We would love to advance to the World Championship, but really our goal is to have everybody learn something meaningful and feel like they made a meaningful contribution
And
to
have
the group
fun.
project.
I mean, if you're not doing anything, why would you stay?
Right. No, it sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun, and we want everyone to be included in that and really feel the excitement when when your robot shoots a goal.
Yeah.
Hey, you helped make that happen. Like, that's awesome.
Exactly. And that's a good core value to have. If you're doing it all and your mentors are just overseeing things, it gives you that sense of pride that you did this on your own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's definitely great.
It's awesome. So what was your favorite book growing up?
My favorite book? I don't know. I used to read Oh, the Places You'll Go with my dad all the time. So that's definitely one.
I liked Dr. DeSoto. It's a picture book about a mouse dentist and a fox. So it's very good.
So that's fun.
That is fun.
It's pretty
Wow.
funny.
So is there anything in your future careers that you'd like to accomplish? Anything you're striving for?
Yeah, I feel like I really feel the need to give back. I feel like I've gotten a lot of stuff from other people, from the community, and I just feel like I need to go out and give back. So that's why I've been mentoring, and I want to, volunteer as much as I can and do. I just want to give back, honestly,
That's awesome.
in whatever way I can.
I want to go into engineering so I can become a role model for young women, and then I want to go teach so I can really continue to be that. I'm interested in teaching in vocational education, like being an electrician or being a carpenter, really working with your hands. We're going to need tradespeople, and I think that vocational education is great. And
Yeah.
so after working in the field for a while, I think that I will go on to get my certification and teach.
That's a great place to teach. Yeah. Vocational education is something that I don't think they concentrate on as much anymore.
Yeah, they really don't, and there's some like really awesome benefits to working in those fields too. People don't notice it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they all electricians, carpenters,
Yeah,
mechanics.
yeah.
Definitely, it's
The
important.
benefits of being in the union are like crazy. And also you get to work with your hands. Like, who doesn't want to work with their hands? That's great.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, everybody isn't always cut out for college, but they could totally wrap their head around some vocational places. And they're
Yeah.
exceptional in their field.
Yeah, and it works the other way around too. I mean,
Exactly. Nice. So, any ideas on the robot's name this year?
no, we kind of name them after they're built, and they've gained a personality, so to speak.
Yeah, we're not really sure yet. We do know the teaser was released. It's called Steamworks. We're assuming they don't mean real steam because that would be incredibly dangerous.
Difficult.
What we think is that there's an acronym: science, technology, engineering, art, and math. We're thinking that they're going to try to incorporate more of the arts into the challenge this year. So that's our hypothesis. We'll see in a couple of months, and we'll probably go from there.
Maybe we'll have to paint a picture with the robot. That'd be fun.
Maybe. Yeah, we
That's
have no
funny.
idea.
Wow, can you do that?
I mean, not yet.
What
We'd
are
have to
some of
build
the
something.
mechanical functions that your robots have been able to do in the past?
So one of the coolest mechanisms that we built was called a Geneva mechanism, and it was for loading frisbees so that we could load 4 frisbees at a time, and basically it converts one full rotation of a motor to a quarter rotation. So you could put a frisbee in, it would rotate a quarter, put another one, rotate a quarter, and then it was attached to the shooter, so then when it rotated another quarter, it would kind of pop the frisbee into the shooter and shoot it.
Oh, wow. Did it work?
Yeah, it did, actually. And that robot also had a leaf blower on it.
Oh,
To
really?
kind of blow we shot the frisbee up the wall and kind of blew it into the goal with the leaf blower.
Oh, that's
Which
awesome.
it worked, but it didn't work all the time. So it wasn't the best one, but we got the creativity award. So, woo.
Yeah, that's
Fun.
great.
And
Yeah.
we had a pretty efficient chain and hook mechanism a couple of years ago to stack recycling totes, so we could stack 4 or
Yeah.
5 of them at once. It would roll up underneath the tote and hook it up, and then you would go up to another one and do that, and then you would
Yeah,
put it down to release, and you'd have a
you
stack.
could have like 4 hooked up at a time, drive over to where you wanted them, and just put them all down in a stack at once. And go continue. Yeah.
So, what do you think when people argue about machines and computers taking over jobs?
I'm kind of torn because I feel like making those machines is going to create jobs, but they're going to be more of like the high-end jobs, and the machines are kind of going to take the low-grade work, which I think might be an issue moving into the future.
I think that we should do everything in moderation. I don't think that anything should fully take over. I think
Yeah.
that
Right.
a partial takeover would probably better the lives of a lot of people, but a full takeover could cause problems, and so I think that integrating it where it's smart to integrate it will probably be the best solution.
Right. And I think training people younger, like you guys, are starting out and having more programs like this in school would probably help that in the future.
Yeah.
There's actually a state that integrated first into all of their high schools. Was it Michigan?
It was probably Michigan. Their teams are so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, what they did is they just have classes in their high schools for robotics. So all of their high schools have robotics teams, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Every state should do that.
Yeah.
definitely. It will get you involved with so many different types of people with different backgrounds, different interests, but you can all work together and create something that achieves something.
Yeah, definitely. And it's very rewarding to see your work actually manifest itself as something that you can lift and put in the trunk of your car.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
That is cool. So before we close, what are your last thoughts or advice to young people that are just getting started?
Follow your passion. I mean, we have, and don't think that your passion is going to stop you from being on a robotics team, because we have kids on our team that do art and outreach, and they write grants for us, and so whatever you do, you can still be a part of the team, and I think it's definitely, you should definitely try it out.
I hope that young women will eventually grow to realize that being smart is attractive. You don't have to dumb yourself down for boys,
Yeah.
especially in middle school. That's when girls lose interest in science. And
Yeah.
I think that the best way to progress is to teach young girls that it's cute to be smart, it's attractive to be smart. Raise your hand in math class. It's okay. It's okay to show other people, especially boys around you, that you know the answer.
It's
And,
more than okay,
yeah.
you know?
And I think that that should be more generally accepted.
What do you think teachers do wrong in math and sciences that they lose interest of girls in middle school?
A lot of teachers, I've especially had a lot of female teachers who say, I'm bad at math, so like it's okay if you're bad at math. I think that math is probably the most universally hated subject. Science as well. You know, I'm not good at science. You don't need to be good at science. I think especially female teachers need to be role models for young girls to show them this is what you could be. This is a legitimate career path. This could be you in 30 years. Giving them something to strive for is something that I think is extremely important. And I have a lot of teachers who do that really well. I think that increasing the number of people who do that would be great.
Yeah, and I think that it's kind of society's fault as well because just mentoring the first LEGO League team, I mentored a team of all girls, and I swear some of them had never touched Legos before. And some of them would be like, well, I always wanted Legos, but if I got them, my brother would steal them, or my brother always got Legos and he wouldn't share with me, or I would build something and he would take credit for it. And, you know, girls just aren't given these tools that they should have to really learn these things and try these new things that they don't get to try.
Wow, that's crazy. I love Legos.
I know, me too.
They just opened a new store in London. It's supposed to be the biggest Lego store in the world.
Wow. That's pretty great.
I know, because I love the way that you can get them to be mechanical and they move and just the whole...
Yeah, and once we got the girls kind of working on Legos, our team actually did the best in the robotics competition of all the 3 teams in the Boys and Girls Club.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, see what you can accomplish when you really try, and it was really great to see.
I think Lego's getting better with that. They have a lot of girls
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, but then again,
Really
it's
kinda
all
pink,
like
though.
pink and purple, and
Yeah.
like, here's some Lego dolls that you can play with. No, don't do that. Give them something cool to make, you know?
Right. Give me a castle with a little fro. But
Yeah.
it's
It's getting
awesome.
better, I guess, you know,
Yeah.
one step at a time.
It's all a process.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing so much about what you do.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much
for
for having
having
us.
us.
Excitement in robotics. It's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. And until next time, keep asking questions.